who doesn't love a rags to riches story? It's a very popular plot type in a lot of TV productions, and House of Zwide is no exception. It takes us through this very plot type and explores it in the lives of various characters on the show. House of Zwide is an exciting new TV drama that has hit the ground running, raking in over 4 million views since its debut on ETV on July 19th. Now, it puts the spotlight on two legendary actors, Vusi Kunene and Bawinile Ntshaba, who play a Johannesburg very fashionable couple, Funani and Faith Zwide, and I am all here for it. Now, what do you think so far about House of Zwide?
I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it, although I caught on the series a bit late, but I'm enjoying each and every moment of watching it. We haven't seen such in a very long time. I mean, from Generations to Istingo and now this one, Rhythm City as well, to now this one. It has, that mix legends, seasoned actors, and also rising stars, and newcomers. That's the most important stuff. Newcomers, which is what we value the most. They're opening up the industry. I'm just loving the storyline, how it plays out, and also how they shift between each storyline. Because your attention span doesn't span that long. We can't be dwelling on Faith and Funani all day, every day. Married couple. We know how boring it gets, but we can't dwell on them. We need to see some action. We need to see some rage. We need to see betrayals. We need to see rivalry. We need to see house jokes or the clowns. Yeah. So what do you think about the storyline?
I'll just say, just overall, House of Zwide. I mean, I'm enjoying it because, again, we get to see on our screens spotlights on the fashion industry. We got this first time around with a production that was put together by Dr. John Kani. It was like a one season only kind of series on our screens. So it's really great to come back to the fashion industry. It's an unexplored, I think, industry on our screens. I do, however, worry that House of Zwide is not going to go really deep into it, because outside of having their own boutique store and having the interns and they designing things. Yes, they had the fashion show in the first, week of it premiering, and that was exciting. We're seeing frustrations and preparations for this new thing. So that for me was okay, maybe we're gonna dive into the fashion industry a little bit more, and it's gonna be not so much about the lives of the characters that we see, maybe hints of them, but let's also look into the industry and let's learn something new, as viewers. There were moments, of course, with Ona and Lazaro. Laz. There was a bit of teaching moment for us. We're learning about capsules and stuff, and stitches and stuff, stitching and stuff like that. So, I'm enjoying that, and I'm hoping that there'll be more of that, so we get to really learn more about this industry that we all love. we all wear clothes, we all have some sort of interest in fashion. As far as the storyline, when I first saw it, I was it reminded me already of an existing telenovela, and I was oh my gosh, can it not be like that, but also it reminded me of another one where there was a situation about identity of a child, kind of being a child not knowing who their parents are, and the revelation of their identity and stuff like that. I know it's common, but I just wanted it to be I just wanted something different on our screens, because it's a story that's already been told. I think the way that they are revealing it to us is exciting. I've seen already teasers, I've read teasers, and I'm okay, let's see how families are going to deal with this new revelation, and I still see that as a very big storyline right now. There is, of course, Funani and Faith's other children, Zanele and Nkosi, and I'm very excited to see what happens with Nkosi's storyline. He's somebody who sees himself as the heir to the family business, and he's already throwing his weight around. committing fraud and whatnot. So I'm excited to see that story develop. I think he's a little bit in the shadow, like his story is a little bit in the shadows, and so is his sister's. We're still very much, on top of our minds. We're still looking at Ona and Funani. So I'm not mad about that one, but I'm just like, okay, what's going to happen after this revelation? I think that question mark makes me want to keep watching, Also seeing Faith, the wife, and knowing of her dark history. I also just kind of want to see how that story unfolds. Like, how did she get to be Funani Zwide? What was their relationship before the fire that then led to the death of then Funani's, I guess, wife, Ona's mom. So those are the things that are like exciting for me as far as the storylines are concerned. Like, there are just so many, different, journeys for us that we can really take with them. And for me, that's exciting. I don't like to watch a drama that just focuses on two people, that has like the major character, and it's like, what's gonna happen if this major character is no longer there, kind of thing. So I'm excited for the way that things are developing right now. Who would you say you are excited about? Who are the people that you're excited about in this?
I'm excited about a lot of things, about this entire series. I'm excited about the rivalry between Mampo and Ona. I'm excited about seeing the relationship of Ona and Shoki, as how far it's developing, how far friendship can go, and I'm excited to even see, there's somebody who's always the bearer of secrets in the home. Dorothy. And she's quite a clown, she's quite a clown, and she loves, there's certain positions of power which she gets, although not outright so, or it's just accidental, but she uses it to the max. I just love that aspect. But in terms of the development of the rivalry between Ona and Mampo, man, it talks about two worlds. For me, that's how I kind of saw it. It talks about two worlds, where one comes from a privileged background and the other, it's a bit of a underprivileged. It's based on people from Tembisa, townships. So we know how townships are, we know how the lifestyles are. So it talks about that kind of a person who comes from that environment, now making it into an A-lister's environment. And now this girl is somewhat intimidated by that, and fears being dethroned from it. It's very difficult for somebody who comes from a position of privilege to lose everything, to somebody who's an underdog. So
it takes a knock on your ego. I would think. I don't know. I mean, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that play out.
And I love the fact that Ona has chemistry with Funani. That chemistry, I think. Not saying much, but hey.
I mean, if you've seen the teasers, then this is not even like a...
So, him actually mentoring Ona, it kind of... I don't think it sits well with somebody as privileged as Mampo, because Mampo would like assume or presume that because he's the owner of this empire called House of Zwide, is actually mentoring somebody who comes from a background which she doesn't expect to know anything about fashion. She would want that for herself. But now this one is actually pretty much being comfortable in the boots that have been left behind by Funani. I just love that rivalry and how it pans out. I'm actually hoping to get more of it, and especially considering the fact that the friendship is going to be at play, whereby friends can either make you or break you. So what do you think?
I definitely agree with what your observations from that. It's a very, very interesting thing. I am just really excited, firstly, to see Bawinile again in a lead role. I mean, I'm not complaining. I would say though, I would love to see her not as a villain again, because in The Herd she was a villain, in Tembisa she was a villain again. So I'd like to see a bit of, maybe have her in a position of power, or she must kind of hold the same kind of influence.
But she was there, was Ketiwe.
Yes, but Ketiwe was how many years ago? You know what I mean? Like, Ketiwe was how many years ago? Very, like, humble. I think that's why I'm like, I would love to see her in the same kind of position where she's, like, influential, powerful, but not as, like, with such a dark side. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can have influence and power and not have, like, a dark side. I mean, look at Funani. You know, so far, we don't know Funani as somebody who stepped on people's toes. You know, he built his company from the brow on the sweat on his brow and, you know, blood and everything. And he doesn't have like an evil side to him. He seems more like a very just a people's person. Like,
it's quite funny how Faith and Kosi actually fear Funani. Like, I find that strange. I like I agree with you. He seems like such a sweet person, but in terms of fear, I think, ooh, what kind of power does he have, man?
You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't have to show that he's somebody you should respect and, you know, fear, but they do, you know, because they already, I don't know, maybe their relationship with him, you know. But Faith is somebody who you fear because she's actually a bully. You know what I mean?
She shows the power.
Yeah, you know. So I just wish that it was a different kind of take with her in particular, but also with Kaya Dladla, who plays Lazarus, Laz. I love him in that role, but also I do feel like it's a bit of typecasting, you know. Before this role, Kaya Dladla, yes, he was on Ehostela, but before Ehostela, he was GC on Uzalo, and who didn't love him as GC? Oh my goodness. So a bit of typecasting where those two characters are considered GC and both Laz, because they're very, you know, flamboyant. So it's very much, I guess maybe there's a bit of a difference because Laz is very no nonsense. GC was as well, but GC was also like so big, such a big character. GC was a big personality, you know. In Laz is not like huge. Laz is just like, you know, lukewarm kind of character, but also with Laz, you know that no, don't mess with me kind of vibe, you know what I mean? I do also look forward to maybe seeing more of Laz. You know, Laz is confident, is Funani's confidant, been with Funani since I guess Funani started the company. So I want to see a bit more of Laz. Let's see Laz, I don't know, doing something spectacular. I look forward to also seeing that. Maybe they'll grow Laz's character, maybe they won't, but I read somewhere that Laz is here to stay, so we definitely need to see Laz growing. We need to see more of Laz.
And I think the clowns, guys, comedy, I think it's gonna be a series that's like gonna pan out for a very long time. So we need an element of jokes besides being serious, you know. I mean, Bomlefe, Dorothy, we need to see more of that. Nomsa is a bit of a joke. She's a bit of a joker, you know. So we need more growth in terms of those characters, you know, and also just to see more of Molefe growing and seeing actually what's his story. You know, we know he's a bit of a playboy, messing around with married women. We see you, my guy.
But also the serious side of Molefe, because also for Motlatsi, I do feel it's a bit of typecasting as well. He's always cast as like the comedian. I would love to see him in a more put together man, you know. Maybe the character will be developed to that extent. I don't know, but I would love to see Motlatsi in a more, you know, boss calling the shots kind of role, not so much the clown. So we need to see more development of that. Absolutely, because I believe that every performer, every thespian, every actor has the range, you know. So that should be explored in, you know, the various roles that they play, or let's create roles for them where we can see these parts of them, you know, because we have those capabilities. We'll just add it to our bucket list. So now, with that being said, about the visuals, what stands out for you the most? It gives me, I'll just talk on the editing style. The editing does give me Gomorrah vibes. Like But it's beautiful. Like, I love it. I'm not complaining. I
Yeah.
love it. But it gives me that vibe. Maybe this is like a new style that's developing as far as the editing world is concerned. I'm enjoying it. If you were to then give your rating, how many Biltong sticks would you give it?
I'd give it a solid 4.5. You?
I'll give it 3 Biltong sticks because there's so much more that we're yet to see about it. Of course, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now, but we're also only like a month into House of Zwide. Yeah, 3 for me. So that gives us an average of 3.5. So if you've seen House of Zwide, if you're following House of Zwide, which I'm sure you are, because I mean 4 million viewers since it launched, come on, you must be part of the 4 million people watching this. So let us know what you think about House of Zwide. Who do you love so far? You know, who is like getting you excited to tune in every day? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below.
And if there's a South African or African series, film or documentary you'd like us to review, let us know in the comments. I'm Gomo.
And I'm Dumi. And this is the Biltong Review. Thanks for watching.